Didn't have to twist my arm.
All right, we're live. Here today with Mr. Dustin Hoxworth of the fantastic publication Fat Nugs magazine. Dustin, to be honest, it's a quality publication, and I'm a fan.
Thanks,
and dude. You really got a great thing going.
I appreciate that.
I'm sure most of the people in the community already know who you are, but for those who don't, you go ahead and give a background about yourself.
Yeah, man. I'll make it quick. So my name's Dustin Hoxworth. I'm the founder, editor at large, creator, writer, anything that you can think of when it comes to running a media company and a publication. That's what I am, of Fat Nugs magazine. I have been in, I guess, the legal side of the industry for about 5 or 6 years now, I believe. Originally from St. Louis, been in Atlanta for about 40 years. Very, very large military family background. Yeah, that's kind of who I am. And musician, artist, do a little bit of painting here and there. So, yeah.
Renaissance man, I love it.
Yeah,
I see the Death Cat for Cutie in the background.
Yeah, man, it's a old album. So a friend of mine got that for me, like probably it's got to be 15, 20 years ago at this point. And had the band sign it and all kinds of shit. I was like, that's pretty dope, dude. I appreciate that.
I take it in your late 30s and 40s like the rest of us, huh?
I just turned 50 last year, man.
Oh, shit.
Me
pretty
too.
good for 50, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Thanks. When I shave this fucking nasty shit off my face, I look like I'm about 28 years old, even though my old lady would disagree.
No, I saw the Death Cat for Cutie. I'm like, man, that's bringing me back to like my college years.
That was my high school days for sure.
Yeah, it was
39, so
definitely college and afterwards for sure.
So, Dustin, how did you come about starting Fat Nugs? I mean, it's just kind of like you've been around for what, like last 4 years, but it just blew up, man. It just blew up.
Yeah, man. We've been around for a little over 4 years, and basically, it was kind of a combination of some things. Is how it really came about, but it was kind of an accident. I saw some things in the industry that I didn't really like, and I figured, you know what, I could probably do this better. And
are you talking about like the magazine industry?
The publication side, the media side. When I first started to dive into the media side, I found out real quick that it's just a bunch of pay-to-play bullshit in this space.
Yeah,
that is,
and that's a massive problem for the industry overall.
High Times was pay-to-play. No.
Oh no, not that. Especially over the past couple of decades. Yeah. So I just saw it as, you know, the pay-to-play stuff being a massive issue for the industry going forward, because what it does is it gives the massive corporations a voice and it leaves the small players behind. And this industry was built by small players, right? It was built by home growers, caregivers. So if we don't have their voice in this space and we don't have people actively pushing them and helping them and uplifting their voices, their brands, their products, then what we have is a very dull, vanilla, piece of shit, mid-driven industry, you know, by corporations. So I saw an opportunity.
Like the negative players almost, you know, like the people that are just in it for like the $90 eighth on a counter.
Bingo. And you nailed it. It gives those players, those big, massive corporations, a voice, which in this space, if they didn't have that money to spend, no one would care about them at all, because their products are mostly terrible. Let's just, say what it is. And their leadership, their C-suite, they treat people like shit. They don't give a shit about the plant. They hire people and don't pay them. There's all kinds of reasons to not like some of the biggest players in this space on the corporate side. So I saw an opportunity to do something completely different that I was extremely passionate about. And I've always been, kind of an artist, I guess. I'm a musician. I've written and released 3 albums on my own. I do a little painting, blah, blah, blah. So I'm always looking for a creative dump. And when this came about, I was like, holy shit, here's my creative dump. Finally, I can write, I can do photography, whatever I can do to kind of satisfy that creative need. I was like, this is it. This really gives me that spot. But the magazine itself came about by accident. So I was, like I said, not really enjoying some of the stuff that I was seeing. And so online, I had kind of developed a voice a little bit over the, I guess, 5 years ago or so with some of the stuff that I was doing. And I quickly found out that creating some fake covers with some fake article titles on the cover and posting that on LinkedIn, it created a lot of engagement, and it gave me an opportunity to meet and talk to a lot of people that I was never able to really reach before. So doing that, it was just as a sort of a way to build my network and sort of a way to spread my voice, I guess, a little bit within my network as well. And multiple people reached out when I, like, probably just after the second or third cover that I had posted. And those are fake covers, right? They just come from me bullshitting. I was making them on my phone. It was taking me like 5 minutes to pull some bullshit on my phone. This was before AI. AI wasn't around 5 years ago, not like it is now. So this was just me doing some stupid stuff on my phone, posting it, having conversations. And then all of a sudden I had multiple people in my DMs telling me or asking me, like, is this real? Where is this? Can I buy this? Can you send me this? Where are these articles? And it dawned on me. I was like, oh shit, like this could actually be a thing. And then I had a couple of friends reach out and say, yo, dude, you need to really turn this into a thing. And so instead of just kind of having some fun and making some jokes online, it turned into an actual publication. And within about, I would say, 3 months of me posting the very first fake cover, I had Fat Nugs magazine, and we had launched our first digital edition. And it's absolutely crazy to think about. About 8 months later, we turned that into print.
How did you make the decision? You're like, okay, let's actually make it print. Or is it?
That's so I think from the very beginning, when I hear someone say magazine, I think physical copy of a magazine. I come from that era where High Times was a big deal, right? Where the late 80s, early 90s High Times were fucking dope. As a teenager, if you had those in your hands, you were cool. But Playboy was big for me as a younger dude, right? We had Mad Magazine, Thrasher Magazine. Those magazines were just fucking rad. And when someone said the word magazine or a publication to me, that's what I think of. I never even thought this would be just a digital magazine. That doesn't make any sense to me. And it just doesn't. It doesn't land right. I don't care about looking at a magazine online more than I do in person. I want to hold the fucking magazine for several different reasons. But anyway, I think the print came about just as a natural thing, because that's when I hear the word magazine, that's what I thought of. And so as soon as I could turn it to print, I did. And it only took one dispensary believing in what I was doing and to say, you know what? We'll support you with this, and we'll purchase the first however many, I think it was 1,000 or 2 that they purchased from me. And from that very moment, I'd never turned back.
And you're doing this all out of Atlanta?
Yeah, so I'm in Atlanta, but my team of, I think we have like 14 or 15 people here now, which is crazy to think about, dude. We're spread out all over the place. Colorado, Arizona, California, we're everywhere, dude.
I just recently started talking to Daryl Peach, one of your photographers. Such a cool guy, man.
Daryl's a dope dude, veteran. He's brought a lot of fucking really cool shit to the table for the magazine itself. We started something called Faces of Cannabis, even though the Faces of Cannabis had existed before, we took it over. We kind of put our own flair on it, but his photography is top notch. We also have Paula Tello. If you don't know who she is, she won, first place last year in the world photography competition. She won first place for concentrates and second place for flower. for macro. So she is an unbelievable talent. And the way that I've been able to kind of collect folks here, those artistic people that and the creatives that really drive this thing, has been the main reason that over the past, I would say 2 years, we've really, just kind of continue to blow up.
Oh yeah.
The visual aspect is huge as to what we do. And there's a reason for that too, dude. Look, as we're all walking through the world these days, everybody and their mom is trying to get your fucking attention, right? Everything is vying for your attention. So the idea is to be able to compete in that kind of world is to give people something dope to look at first. When a piece of art, like that art behind you, bro, it looks fucking rad. Like I keep looking at it. I'm like, those are fucking, that's cool shit. And what that does is it keeps you from focusing on anything else. It stops you from scrolling, so to speak. When you give somebody something cool to look at, their world stops for just those few seconds, right? And they're just focusing on that. And at that moment, I then get to hit you over the head with a cool story, a cool brand, origin story, a founder story, those types of things, a cool interview, whatever the case may be. So yeah, the visual aspect of what we do here is extremely fucking important, and it will continue to be going forward to make sure that we can do what we want to do.
Yeah, Fat Nugs, like, not only is it like the best pictures of cannabis and recently the concentrate issue for magazines, some of the best I've seen, period. Like,
you know what? I appreciate that. Let me go grab the concentrates edition, the actual edition itself. Real quick.
We can do a little show and tell of you're like describing the most amazing visuals we could be showing them.
Hell yeah. So this thing actually just landed yesterday. And if you've never had one of our magazines in your hands, you're missing out. First of all, you can see how shiny it is. You can actually see your reflection in this thing. Every single one of these that we create, they're meant to be a standard. They're meant to really elevate this industry, elevate our community and culture around this fucking plant. And so I want to make sure that when we produce this, it's as high quality as possible. And that's what you get. The paper is thick. It's super shiny. Everything is just kind of top notch, produced very, very well. So concentrate photo on there is from Paul Latello. If you aren't connected to Paul Latello and Daryl Peach, you need to be. And we have other photographers as well. Kai Mofire out of California. She was our very first photographer. Chris Birdsong out of Atlanta, Georgia. He was a very, very early photographer as well. He's actually a key grip in the film industry. If you don't know what a key grip is, go to IMBD and just type in Chris Birdsong and you'll see all the stuff that he has helped create throughout the years. But anyway, our photography is definitely something that sets us apart. This is something that Paula did where she obviously has two photos here slammed together that create this very unique thing. I'd never seen anything like this before, where she has the flower that has then been turned into, some beautiful concentrates. So I thought that was a really fucking cool way to show something from our industry that you've never really seen before. But anyway, the publication itself, dude, one of the things I love to be able to point out is that no one else does this.
Love it.
Dude.
It's like the Playboy fold out from like the 90s.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Centerfold, dude.
Oh my God, that's
look at those legs. Oh yeah.
Fucking centerfold, man. It makes a big difference. It gives, dude, when you open this thing up and you're reading it, and by the way, everything that we focus on, and again, after this podcast, you guys send me your addresses. I'll get you a magazine. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Anyway, I don't know what I was about to say other than that. So anyway.
I think it's rad, man. I grew up right outside of Atlanta.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I was still in Fulton County, but I was in Alpharetta. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I went to Chattahoochee High School, which is in Alpharetta.
I went to Centennial. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I used to live a block.
Rivals, dude.
Dude, I used to live a block from Centennial. Centennial wasn't open when I graduated. I think it opened like 2 years after I graduated. I graduated back in '93, so kind of old.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I know the high school, man. I know the high school well.
Small world.
I actually think
But
I know.
growing up down there, like it was, I mean, it's still heavy prohibition land. You know what I mean? So like my news came
Yeah.
from magazines
Yep.
and journals, and you know,
Still to this day, man, you know, it's heavily stigmatized, right? I think, and you get that all throughout the South, obviously not just in Georgia. But what I've learned over the past 5 years of traveling and doing this is that that stigma persists everywhere. And here's a perfect example of that. So in December of last year, we produced what I think was our best work to date. It's our Kids and Cannabis edition. That is a obviously a naked pregnant woman on the cover of a cannabis publication, which is something you've never seen before. I keep forgetting what the fuck I was fucking talking about. Anyway, good
I've
Lord,
been there,
dude.
brother.
Bro, it's been a long day. It's all good.
Work your way through it.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's do that. How about that?
I got a picture on my Instagram pinned of my child and when she was born, and she's on a big it's a mattress made out of hemp, and so it has like a hemp flower and it says hemp. But I've gotten so much shit from just that picture. People in my DMs like, "Oh
Thank you
my
for saying
god,
that.
did it?" You know, and
Yep.
it's like it needs to be destigmatized for sure.
Yes, and that reminded me exactly why I pulled out this magazine. So the stigma persists everywhere, right? But it even lives within the industry itself. So when we push this out, when we launched this Kids and Cannabis edition with a naked pregnant woman on the cover, we got, first of all, the industry sort of scattered like roaches when we were looking for advertisers to come join us and help us launch this thing. We ended up with 4 advertisers. Normally we need anywhere from about 12 to 15 to be able to properly produce a publication. So that was the beginning of me going, oh, okay, I see what's going on. I understand brands don't want to be associated with kids and cannabis, or maybe a mothers and cannabis, or whatever the case may be. And that's fine. But again, we focus heavily. I'd say 99% of everything that we do here is very much focused on science and education. So the publication itself had nothing to do with, kids consuming, so to speak, by, smoking fat doinks. That's just not what we were doing. It's very much medically focused, right? And it also talks about mothers and, consumption when you're pregnant and, those types of things. So we actually kicked this off with a doctor talking about cannabis and kids. So even though that's the case, when I described that to potential advertisers, they balked. And it was because of them being scared that people would look at them in a weird way, because it's mixing pregnant women and cannabis and kids and cannabis. And then it went so far as I had our retail partners who carry every single one of our magazines and all of their locations in basically throughout the US. I actually got a phone call and they said, we're not going to be able to put this out on the shelves. And my heart sunk. Like I had that pit in my stomach and I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like this is coming from someone inside the industry who does this on a daily basis, who fights that stigma just by being in this industry. And yet they're sort of helping perpetuate it by not putting something this gorgeous that's all science and education related on shelves so that their customers can actually learn something. It sort of blew my mind, and I didn't know that it was going to be like that. But here we are, right? We talk about the stigma being, hardcore in the South still. Yeah, but it's everywhere, dude, and it's even inside our fucking industry, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, and I remember when my when baby mama number 1 was pregnant, when she'd be in pain, and I have multiple baby mamas, but
your long pipes.
You got to do what you got to do.
Right. The nickname was earned. like when she would have pains, I would be like, fucking smoke weed with me. Like I'd rather have you like not daily, but like if you're gonna reach for the Tylenol or the Advil or the whatever, like fucking
Bingo.
smoke a joint.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
my baby mama
it's
consumed
interesting
throughout her
that
pregnancy.
to your point, were these like like was there this retail audience that was giving them shit? Was it people walking into a dispensary or into like kind of like a bookstore type place where they sell lots of different
So this was dispensaries. These were dispensaries.
That's crazy. So dispensaries customers were like, I'm offended by this.
No. So here's what happened. So when the magazines got sent out and they landed at all the locations, basically they had a lawyer tell them that they shouldn't put it out. And that was the only information that I got. So basically what they did was when they got it, opened up the box, and they saw that there was a pregnant woman on the cover and it said kids and cannabis, they immediately balked and asked, should we put this out? Is it okay? And guess what? In that particular state, it wouldn't be breaking any regulations or laws whatsoever to have.
Can you say what state?
Colorado.
Wow.
Colorado.
Like
blows
super
my mind,
progressive.
like, yeah.
Colorado and California and like Oregon and Washington
So,
State.
It didn't.
That's
I
really long.
I wasn't pissed. I completely understood. And, that's their business, right? That's not, I don't have a say in that. I can't tell them how they should be running their business, and that's fine. It was just very sort of eye-opening, I guess, where
it would be hugely disheartening.
It was. And like I said, my heart dropped. My heart sank. I had that pit in my stomach, the lump in my throat. I was like, what in the fuck? This is, I can't believe that I'm actually hearing this. And, someone
what
who
would have been cool would be to find like a Colorado mom patient, like someone with a kid, to like go give a store visit to that shop and be like,
where's the magazine?
That magazine's for me.
Yeah.
Right? Charlotte. That's Colorado.
Charlotte. Telling my story. Right.
Yeah.
Another thing is like children that use cannabis as medicine, though. And,
correct.
You know, like how stigmatized that is. And like, I'm all for going back to the dark days. You know what I mean? Fuck the legal system and everything. But at the same time, like after I talk to a mother who has a child,
or just go back to medical,
and them being able to like take it at school. Right.
Yeah.
If they have to dose at school, now they have to go all the way home to dose and come all the way back to school because it's not,
it's still not accepted. Yeah, it's still not accepted as real medicine, which is insane because it's one of the original real medicines, right? That's just how this was always supposed to be. And yet here we are in this country like we always have. We do everything fucking backwards because it's money. Money, draw, that's yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's just unfortunate, dude, that it came to, I had to have those conversations that I came to realize that our industry is still pearl clutching in many ways. And, I'm here to break that shit. I'm here to absolutely squash the hell out of that, which is why we do what we do here at this publication, man. It's to really uplift.
You're in a safe space, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. But yeah, I mean, we're doing everything we can to uplift this plant. But the problem is we also need the rest of the industry to have that mindset so that even if we have to make an uncomfortable decision or do something that might make us feel a little uncomfortable, like putting a cannabis publication on the shelf that has a naked pregnant woman, like we should be able to do that and understand that this is real life. Like this is, medicine for millions and millions of people. It's medicine for kids all over the fucking world. Can we please stop playing these dumbass games that we've been forced to play? We don't have to do them.
In November, we're going back to seeds are illegal. Like what the fuck?
Dude,
it's like,
man, I've had those conversations that have come up over the past couple of weeks about the seeds, and it just blows my fucking mind that the alcohol industry and some of the bigger corporate cannabis companies basically got together
100%.
and had that language placed into that law last minute, undercover, where nobody saw it. And now we're dealing with this a seed ban, a seed sale
And we
ban.
don't have any say in it. That's a
Zero.
crazy part, like of a democratic,
We're not
state of
anything.
union. It's
Yeah. We're not anything near
It's
a
corporate
true democracy.
lobbying and PACs. And
ain't that smart, but
It's money, dude. It's all about money, right? So,
100%.
trying to squash the little guy, which is basically what's happening. And so they can
And that's
squeeze
what
as
they're
much of the
looking at
market
plant
as possible.
right now. Is
Say that
money.
again?
The people, a lot of the, especially corporate cannabis, is looking at the plant as just money.
Oh yeah,
You
dude.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of medicine. And
Yeah.
I like what Peter said, or just go back to medical. It's
There's nothing wrong with
those
turning
were
a profit,
the
right?
mortgages.
There's nothing wrong with turning a profit.
no.
But in this industry, in this space, there is a lot more than turning a profit. Nothing wrong with turning a profit, but there is a lot more to this than turning a profit. And if you don't understand that, you really don't belong in this fucking industry. We don't want you here. None of us do. Sure, there's a handful of folks in this space who are in the C-suite, in those big MSOs, those big corporate cannabis operators that are happy as hell with all the slop that's going on. But most of us in this space see all the issues that not only that they cause, but that in general lawmakers cause as well. It's a fucking massive problem. And it's just not something that, as an industry that was built by small people, by small players, by small farmers, by the LGBTQ plus community in California, by Dennis Perone and all of those amazing people, it was never intended to leave those hands and go into corporate America, because corporate America has always been the ones that have taken a baseball bat to us, right? They have sent the dogs after us. They're the ones who play the game, and everything is about money, and we want to keep everything illegal. And so we're going to lobby against it. Big alcohol, pharmaceuticals, and everyone else that has been on that fucking, tip of the spear, poking it in our sides for the past 100 years almost, right? Since 1937, they've been doing this shit. They were never really intended to be a part of the industry. We don't want them here. So if you're just here looking for a profit, you're in the wrong fucking space.
I would say it's slight. I mean, I 100% agree with everything you're saying, as does probably 100% of the people watching. But I feel like make it all about profit, but make the playing field fair, and the good people, like the people we want to win, which is like the mom and pop farmers, the patients, like they'll all win if they could just play a fair fight.
I love that. If it was a
That's
level
the thing
playing
is-
field across the board, I am with you. But we all know that's not even close to being the case.
Accountability is just something that's not even present, it seems like, in these days. And that's what happens in especially corporations. Like it just goes.
Yep. And
Right
I
out
just
the
had a
window.
call. I had a call earlier today about accountability and some companies in this space that are literally robbing people just for doing nothing. They're just going in and saying they're going to do some work. They don't do anything, and then they walk away with a couple $100,000 check. And here we are. That's a profit-driven market that we don't want. A profit-driven industry that we don't want. We don't want that predatory capitalist nonsense in this space. That's not what we want. Capitalism is fine if it has a heart, but in this country, capitalism has never had a fucking heart.
It's
So
free market, so there's no.
It's
it's like-
sociopathic.
Yeah, that's a-
It's basically we will extract
non-regulated-
all value at
Yep.
the expense of the customer, the employee.
Yep.
And it all goes to the
Oh,
shareholders.
it's crazy. If you look at potato chips, it's like it's the same price as fucking meat these days per pound. Like
That is crazy,
it's
dude.
an absurd world that value isn't isn't there. But I don't know. I think big ups to you, man. It seems like everybody you've kind of put on your team is kind of all on the same page, as in it's for the plant. It's not for any type of monetary gain. It's for education. It's for putting
Well,
the best out there and what people are doing to make
let
it
me
happen.
prove that to you. So over these past 4 years, 99% of our work has been volunteer. We
Nice.
have, so I built this with zero money. We are an ICP, an independent cannabis publication. We have zero investors, no backers. I don't answer to any board. There's no suit pulling any strings here. It's just a stoner and 14 other stoners. That's what this publication is. Now, what we have done over these past 4 years in giving all of our work, excuse me, to do the right things and to build this the right way. We have our pillars set in place. We've built the media company that it needs to be. I've brought in the partners that I absolutely need to help me actually serve the industry from an advertising and marketing perspective. And so now this year, this is the first year because we have things in place where we are actually focused on revenue. So now that we have all of these things in place and all the right people here, we can do the work necessary to actually bring in the real revenue that we need to continue to do this the right way. It's that simple, because you can only give so much of yourself for 4 years, right? You have to have something in return. We're headed down that road right now.
Well, yeah, congrats, man.
Thanks, man.
It seems like a large portion is military, veteran. I know you have a strong relationship with that. There's somebody in chat I'd like to highlight, Baby Daddy Grows. I'm going to have to hook you up with him. He's a veteran, and he does a lot of work with like suicide prevention and
Love
help
that.
like that. The 22 Too Many.
Hell yeah.
I'm a big supporter of that and
Yep.
what cannabis has done for that as well.
So the publication actually comes from my childhood and who I grew up with and how I grew up. I have 22 family members that are either active or former military, so veterans. When my dad and my uncles came back from Vietnam, we had massive fucking PTSD issues in my family, but nobody had any idea what the hell that was. PTSD it wasn't sort of stamped into our vernacular until like 1980 or 81. So nobody had any idea what that was. But what we did know was the one thing that seemed to help was weed. So from the earliest moments of my childhood, that's what I remember. My parents, my family friends, my uncles getting together and just smoking and being stoners. All of my uncles, who are almost all passed at this point, they all used to, and my dad, they used to look like Cheech and Chong. That's what I remember as a kid. And the one thing I really remember as a kid is, yeah, even though it was called shell shocked back then. Whoever just said that, you're absolutely right. It's called shell shocked back in the late 70s and 80s until PTSD came about. So I'm glad whoever said that because that reminded me to
Ghetto hippie. He's a good people's man.
Hell yeah. So, I remember as a kid when everybody was around smoking, the kids were outside. We were just doing our thing. It was a part of normal life. We didn't give a shit what the parents were doing, right? But what I can remember was the smell. That's what my dad and my uncles always smelled like. So that's a big portion of where
I always loved the smell growing up.
Oh yeah, I did too. And I could recognize it from anywhere. Oh, that's what that's what my family smells like, So that's a big portion of where this publication comes from. And I ended up getting to see the VA kill my dad back in 2015 by shoving Percocet down his throat for a broken neck for over 2 decades. Instead of just getting out of the way and giving the man good, clean, quality fucking cannabis, he'd still be here today. So, I have always been a pretty political dude, I guess, but that kind of stuff that I've gone through, my family being heavily military, cannabis is naturally sort of political. So I blame our government for taking my dad's life. I blame the government, or really the wealthy ruling class, for everything that is really sort of happened to a lot of my family.
Agree.
And so cannabis is just one of those things that it just comes natural because of where I come from and the shit that I've sort of went through in my life with my family. So we have multiple veterans here. Daryl, our photographer, he's also a writer. He has a beautiful piece in this Concentrates edition. Our videographer, Chris Petty, he is also a veteran. We've had veterans here off and on for a while. We also have veterans that write for us as well.
That's awesome. I'm lucky enough. I'm working on the logo for his new hash company that he's doing with Logan.
Fuck
Logan's
yeah,
great people,
dude.
man. He's awesome, and them two, they got their heads on right with the cannabis and where they want to go and what they're doing it for, and it's just awesome watching where they're going. So cool.
Logan's a good dude too. Those two working together, they're gonna make some magic, and I've already smoked some of that magic.
Yeah, yeah, man, that's awesome.
I did see you recently had or for this month since it is Women's History Month, I saw you recently had an issue highlighting a number of women pioneers in the cannabis industry.
We did.
So
we did. I thought it was important to do that, dude. I mean,
oh yeah, like Brownie, Brownie Mary, Mila Jansen, Charlotte Figge. We would be sitting here with having this conversation if it wasn't for them. And one thing I do like about the cannabis industry compared to like a lot of other industries is, I mean, we still have a long way to go with recognizing like women and minorities for sure. But the cannabis industry is, it pays attention to women. Compared to other industries, I would say like we do.
I know what you're saying.
A little bit more, but like we still have like a long way to go.
You know? Oh, dude, we have a very long way to go. And first of all, what a lot of people don't understand is that women drive the majority of sales in this industry at this point. I believe it's somewhere around 55% of sales are made by women for cannabis. So think about that.
I would be in heaven if my wife smoked a lot of weed.
Watch those words.
Right? Hey, dude, I'm okay when my old lady doesn't smoke because it's more for me. So I'm all right with that. But there are, look, it's important to be able to recognize the people who have built this industry and created the industry. And women are a part of that. Minorities are a part of that.
Cannabis is kind of feminine by nature, I feel like.
It's a female plant that we enjoy the most. Even though people get pissed at me when I say that because we use the male plant as well, obviously. But yeah, it's important.
I'm not offended.
Good. It's important to make sure that we, as especially white dudes, right? I think it's important for us to take an extra level of responsibility to uplift these voices as much as we can. And we do that is as much as we can here. So yeah, you're right. I think it was last Friday's launch had those top 10 or just 10 women in general that are a part of cannabis history. And I think it's important to be able to continue to highlight that as much as we can. And here's something that a lot of people don't know about our team. Out of the 14 or 15 people that we have on the Fat Nugs team, I think 9 of them are women. So even though Fat Nugs magazine sounds like a super drippy, doodly stoner magazine, it's kind of the exact opposite. Even though all of us over here are kind of, drippy stoners, we've taken it upon ourselves to make sure that the way that we present cannabis is extremely elevated and being aware, so to speak, about cannabis in general, our community and our culture, which includes women, minorities, indigenous populations, that type of stuff. It's super important to be able to, uplift those voices. And we do that here.
We have a large audience of cat dads.
Me.
We do cater somewhat to that audience. We're a little niche in our programming.
I have a cat.
Animals are the best.
Yes,
Steve,
absolutely.
Fazoli lurking in the chat.
I got a cat too. She's been on the show a couple of times. She just walks across the table whenever.
Nothing wrong with that. My little dude, he usually jumps up in my lap or he's sitting right here in front of the camera on a lot of my calls. So,
yeah,
I grew up with
I got
a cat.
both my dogs right
now. My wife claims she's allergic to cats, but I'm like, they're hypoallergenic cats.
There are. I
There's
actually
a
have one.
solution to that problem.
Yes, there is. Absolutely.
I want one of those hairless cats. They're just so like creepy, weird looking that I just want one.
They do look weird.
They
You
do.
could
It's
put
just
them in
like
outfits every day, although not in Arizona.
But when it comes to cats,
Oh.
like the more weird, the better. Like super cross-eyed cats and shit. I'm like, dude, that's so dope.
I had one with a overbite or underbite, whatever makes your fangs stick
The
out. So
fangs
we called
hanging
him
out.
yeah, we call him Sabertooth.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
And then he became Saber Floof because he's a cat and they're floofy. So
Does your cat like you wake up sometimes in the middle of the night and your cat's like face is like right in your face just staring at you? Does that happen to you?
He gets in my face and licks my chin. So he does that a lot. Yeah, and it's
I wake
usually
up with my
to get
dog's
me up.
ass like right on my face farting. It's the worst, dude. It's so bad. Like, but it happens more than I'd like to admit.
Oh yeah.
My 4-year-old does that.
Why is your 4-year-old's ass in your face while you're sleeping?
So for
Yeah,
like
you
each
sleep next
issue,
to shit.
Yeah,
She
just
has
somersaults.
some stinky farts.
Stinky five.
so for each issue, how do you go about like oh hey, for this issue we're gonna cover this topic, or
Yeah.
how do you go about doing that? Like what's the process?
Good question. So usually late November every year we get together as a team, and throughout the year I've been kind of building a list of things that we might want to talk about. And usually by late November, early December, we've gotten together and talked through just maybe 10 to 15 options that we would like to address. And that's just kind of what we do. And we start to whittle it down based on things like, do we have the writers currently that we know we can call upon? Is the industry sort of focused on this kind of stuff at the moment? Is it culturally relevant? Does anybody actually give a fuck about this? Those are the types of questions that we sort of ask ourselves when we're developing, what the themes are going to be. And, we dive, folks don't know why we do themes. Like a lot of magazines aren't themed. We do things themed here because when it comes to cannabis, first of all, cannabis runs in every part of our lives. You can think about cannabis from every perspective of your life. And so when we dive into a theme, it allows us to really talk about cannabis in a very full way. We get to sort of full spectrum that theme around cannabis. So for instance, we did we have a pet and animal edition that we've done. And on the cover is this beautiful photo.
We could do the FCP cat dad collab
Calendar.
issue.
You know what I heard when you first said that was Epstein, not you said EP, and I was like, oh God, no. Anyway, sorry.
Not the Jeffrey Epstein issue.
Wrong topic, dog. Wrong topic. But yeah, so we did a pet and animal edition, and we were able to dive deep into the science and education side of this kind of stuff. So theming every single edition that we put out is, I think, massively important for us to be.
There's a cat dad.
Looking good.
Those legs.
It really, right? Like tree trunks, dog. So it really gives us an opportunity to kind of dive into cannabis in a way that really other media companies don't get to do. We get to stop all the noise and talk about cannabis in one way, right? So this time, concentrates. Last time, kids and cannabis. The time before that, technology. So we get to just education. We actually we've done 2 psychedelic editions now. Our one from last year,
huge proponent on it.
A massive success with the psychedelics edition last year. So again, being able to dive directly into cannabis, psychedelics, plant medicines in a thematic way gives us an opportunity to dive deep as fuck.
Psychedelics, that's awesome, man. We also have a another podcast under the umbrella called Micronauts. You're more than welcome to come on that show too.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Anytime.
There's some episodes.
There used to be a Psychonauts.
Ooh, what you got there?
It's some oxidized DMT.
Oh,
Been
okay.
sitting out for a little bit, but yeah, good brother in the FCP family made this.
Hell yeah. Very
Super
cool.
clean stuff, man. I think,
Right on.
You should do it.
I'm a
You
huge
should do it right now,
proponent of-
DP.
No,
Take it
definitely
right
not.
So Daryl took a really
should.
couple of good shots for our psychedelics edition of that DMT. As a matter of fact,
I think like I don't know, especially with veterans, you know, and a lot of these states that are highly red and right are starting to adopt and start listening to some ibogaine therapy. And they're actually setting up clinics in like Virginia and Texas and like
Yeah.
these states you'd never think of. And it's solely because of what it's done for veterans and their PTSD.
Yep.
And they're finding that it's so far beyond that, because at first it was just thought to be like an opiate type thing. And then they're finding out PTSD, and now they're starting to microdose patients with dementia, and their dementia is getting better. And it's amazing, man.
From mushrooms to DMT, dude, it's all medicine, and it's sort of how you consume it, you know, how much you consume, when you consume, the intention behind the consumption that allows for the deep healing from it. So
like when I was younger, it was cool. I don't know. I didn't know what that it was like so medicinal, and I was finding answers to my questions through it. But I mean, you know, you're fucking 5 doses in, take a rip of DMT and hit a nitrous balloon. You know what I mean? And like, you just fucking
good Lord, you went to another planet.
Know, like, yeah, but it's so wild that it can be used so I don't know,
widely,
from
very
recreational to
at low
medicinal.
dose too.
But look, you know,
for sure.
and
Start low.
this has always been around since Dennis. You know, all cannabis use is therapeutic. He used to say all cannabis use is medicinal or medical. I say 100%. It's therapeutic. It's sort of the same thing, or it's meant to say the same thing. You know,
like we're all wired differently, you know what I mean? So it affects us differently. So somebody who it's not for doesn't necessarily enjoy it. It's not for them, you know? And then other people, it's like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like
it's power. Dude, it's powerful medicine. It really is. And, you know, I took my first, I guess, hero dose of mushrooms down at in Georgia Southern in college when I think I was 19 years old.
My brother got kicked out of that school.
Did he?
He got a day after DUI.
Yeah, yep, that's what happens.
In the fraternity, like, dude, I thought I partied hard. I went down there and saw somebody funneling fucking vodka, and I was like, oh shit.
Georgia Southern was known, I think, at one point in some magazine. We were above Florida State as a party school, which is kind of crazy.
Had quarter shot night, dude. Like, what the fuck? You get
there was penny beer night. We had penny beer night every night of the fucking week down there at a different bar. So it was dumb, to be honest with you. You know, alcohol, right? And that's just what happens. But at 19 years old, when I took my first hero dose of mushrooms, I didn't know it was medicine, but good Lord, it was unreal. Completely, you know, unexpected, and it definitely started me down the path of a different path, so to speak, of who I was and where I came from and everything I'd been through, and it started that path of allowing me to do some healing, even though I had no idea that's what it was. So psychedelics, dude, if you do know what you're doing, you know, you can really do a lot of good to your brain and your body, rewiring stuff. And so, yeah, these states that you're talking about, and by the way, you said a lot of these red states and on the right and that kind of shit, don't be fooled. They don't really give a fuck. They are, you know, they are listening to veterans because they're being forced to. So let's just make sure that everybody's clear what's fucking happening there. But yeah, we need our politicians to get the fuck out of the way. I think we all know that, because this is medicine.
Yeah, and it's what are they called? The lobbyists. The lobbyists
Yeah.
are the number one enemy because they don't care. They're just gonna give you the information they're paid to give you.
So lobbying sucks 100%, should be banned. But here's the real
We
issue.
need
And I'm,
good lobbying.
and I know this because this is where I sit. Media is the real fucking problem. So mainstream media has been brainwashing Americans since its inception. And it's
Full-time
now
news.
even more so, where we have, a full right-wing group that controls CBS, CNN, Warner Brothers, Skydance, all of that shit.
Yes.
They don't even try to hide it anymore.
No, they don't hide it. So
They don't.
we've been
Started in
under,
Germany really quickly.
dude, we've been under state-run media for a very long time, but it's really billionaire who own the state-run media. That is what we've been under for a long time. And that's why we're even still having these conversations about psychedelics at all. Because if we didn't have media pumping out bullshit messages to people to, get them to think certain ways about certain things, we wouldn't be having this problem. Psychedelic medicine would have been a thing decades and decades ago, right? With Timothy O'Leary in the 60s and shit, if we were paying attention, because there have been studies and tests done on psychedelics for a very, very long time. So it's just the
There's so many
fact
people that are so scared. And that's
that's
scary to me. And
that's okay.
But but it's due to like the misinformation that's been pumped out there.
And that's not
You know
okay.
what I mean?
It's okay to be scared of something you've never done or that you don't
100%.
understand, as long as you're willing to learn about it. And so you can open your mind. You don't have to be scared, and you don't have to deny other people access to it because you're scared of it. So
And
that's
having somebody there that you can
But-
trust, like it's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
But
No doubt.
to me I mean, media, yes, but I think that, like, for me everything is just coming back to lobbying. Like when you see stuff that any sensible person or a sensible like approach to looking at it is like everything around this thing should be sensible, and when policy and laws are just like bonkers, not sensible, there's someone like trying to stop
they're bought
something
for.
from happening.
Yeah, they're bought and paid for. That's what it is. It's really that simple, because most folks in our government, I guess, have a half of a brain, and they understand basic things. And so when we get these shitty laws that you're talking about, which is what we pretty much only get these days, they're driven by lobbyists and the money that comes from super PACs and APAC and those types of things. So that's where all of our laws actually come from. It doesn't come from common sense or any sensibility whatsoever. And that's unfortunate. And the people, the mass, people, our citizens wouldn't know about any of that stuff and start to have these very rigid thoughts about substances if media wasn't pumping it out to them. If DARE wasn't a thing, if DARE wasn't in newspapers and on TV and in commercials and shit back in the 80s. And so, media has a big role to play in creating or destroying an excellent life for American citizens. And it's unfortunate that it's been under control from the worst of the worst people, billionaires, period. That's what it's always been for the most part. But that's where I get to step in. Like, a poor dude from St. Louis who comes from a military background, who loves fucking cannabis and eats psychedelics, a skater, a musician. Like, I get to be a part of the media now. I get to be a part of the conversation, and I get to push things that are right and true about cannabis, psychedelics, plant medicines. And, we don't fuck around with that. And I'm extremely grateful to be in a seat that is, sort of able to combat the bullshit that we have to sit through when it comes to mainstream media. So we do have a problem with media. Luckily, there are people in media that are trying to do some cool shit. You just got to pay attention to independent media these days.
Yeah,
It's really the only thing you can trust
I would have the
nowadays.
same criticism of mainstream media.
Yep. It's all a load of shit. Unfortunately.
So like, how do you pick like how do you or find or pick people to write articles? Because I was going through the concentrate issue earlier on your website, and man, everything was just so well written, like so well written.
Yeah, man.
And that's like every issue.
We had thank you. I really appreciate that. And if any of our writers and stuff hear that,
or like how do you find those people to reach out to, I should say.
Yeah. So over the past 4 years, and by the way, you're right, the Concentrates edition, and we had a conversation about this on our team call. We have a team call every Tuesday. And we talked about the Concentrates edition and the feedback we were getting and the articles and how amazing they are, and it varied, right? A wide variety of articles, which is what we always have in our editions, which is really cool. But the way that we find our writers, over the past 4 years, just building relationships, paying attention to people who have written before. A lot of writers who came here early had never really written before or been published in media or cannabis media before. So it's really been about building relationships with writers, with creatives. That's really how we've found our writers. So Jessica, who is our editor-in-chief, she has relationships and her network, and she's been able to reach out to people that she knows who writes. And, so that's a way as well. So really it's just about using our network. It's really that simple. It's nothing magical, no crazy, magical formula. But also, most of the people on our team also write. For instance, Daryl, he just kind of, started writing because he's around all of this all the time now over the past year and a half or so that, we've been doing stuff together, that now that he's around this stuff all the time and he's, completely buried in cannabis and psychedelics and, having these conversations, he's turned into a writer as well. And his piece, again, in the Concentrates edition is fucking awesome. So there's a bunch of different ways that we find writers. But sometimes, over half of our editions are written by our internal team.
Man, y'all got something in the water over at Fat Nugs. I mean, like, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably the best cannabis publication I've came across.
I appreciate that, dude.
No offense to the others. They're great too, but just like Fat Nugs is
I got turned off from the High Times. I probably have, moving boxes full of magazines still in my father's attic, from when I was younger. And
dude.
I stopped because of once you get into it and you start learning what's real,
1980 High
awesome.
Times right here is a stack of 1980, 81 High Times right here. This was when I, in the 80s and early 90s, this is when it was, an actual thing that I paid attention to. But this really, was probably a pretty big influence on what I'm doing now, for sure.
Why do you got a penthouse? Was that High Times or was that a penthouse?
That was High Times, dog.
But I tell you, when I was,
you don't long for these days, the days of this guy.
Who is that? Am I too young for that?
That was Adam. Well, no, you're not. I mean, he's the guy who owned High Times before.
Oh, really? I never knew who. Like,
did he fucking go bankrupt and shit?
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't he trying to open up some dispensaries in fucking Florida?
They did. They opened dispensaries in California, but everything just kind of
everything like failed.
Here was probably one of my my favorite covers ever by High Times with Cheech and Chong on it, and this was from
with the big dude,
August 1980. It was $2.50. So yeah.
Then that was expensive, huh? I don't know.
Expensive, exactly.
That would be right. Like
for what fucking 45 years ago, whatever it is. Yeah, that's definitely expensive.
When I got locked up, it was like 2 years in, and I was just missing weed, man. And
I
just
bet.
I
you're
bet,
talking
dude.
to some people about it. You'll smell a skunk walk past the window. Everybody's like, "Oh man, who's smoking?" And I got my hands on a magazine. I can't remember if it was like a hip hop magazine or what it was, but it had like 3-page section of all the hottest strains of that year. And
Yeah.
it gave a description. And dude, I held on to that thing like, every shakedown. I was so terrified I'd get it taken,
Yeah.
but
No
it,
doubt.
it was like that connection, man. And it felt like
Those
when I was a kid, and you're
Yep.
you're opening it up and you're looking at it like, oh, wait to be able to smoke some of that shit, man.
Right.
Like
It was meaningful back in the day when we were kids. Magazines meant something. They really did, dude. I mean, I can remember opening up a Thrasher magazine and a dude doing a McTwist
DCS.
in your fucking face and being like, I want to be that guy, right? I want to be that kid. I hope I can do that when I get older. That's magazines were important to us, back in the day. And I think
Victoria's Secrets.
okay. Sports Illustrated, that kind of
I
stuff.
love my mom's edition of that.
That's funny, dude. So I think, I think I do this
February issue.
Yeah. I think I do this magazine and create this magazine a little bit out of selfishness and wanting some nostalgia, having an opportunity to be a part of my childhood in some way. I think that definitely has something to do with it.
We got a brother, and where's Jeff Papilia from? I don't know where he's at, but he's saying any books on cannabis are illegal here, and the cops take them back. So that's crazy.
Where? Yeah, where is that?
Or
That's crazy.
take them back in the day. Are they still?
Back in the day.
Yeah, I read that wrong.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I thought
There isn't anything wrong with nostalgia. I mean, the world's fucking batshit crazy nowadays, man. Like, yeah, I miss going to the store and getting like Game Pro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, or Thrasher, when I was a kid.
Yep.
Now they're non-existent. Everything's just.
It's all digital.
Maybe I'm getting older, but everything's just went to shit. So like something like Fat Nugs, we still get like a print edition. It's pretty fucking cool,
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate that. And that's part of the, sort of mystique or our ethos over here, I guess is probably a better word, to put out some quality shit that people actually care about. And, when you go to a store that, you're not just looking for your pre-roll, like you might actually also be looking for the concentrates edition of Fat Nugs magazine, because that shit was dope as fuck. So yeah, that's definitely a part of the thought behind why we do print, how we do print, the way we do print.
So so where are you distributed to, or like how many copies do you print?
Yeah, so right now, every year, every edition, we sell out of no less than 5,000 copies. That's not a ton. And again, as an independent cannabis publication, it's expensive to do print, right? So it's not like I can just go out and print 50,000 copies and give them away to everybody. That's just not how this works. And the industry needs to understand that. Like, if you want real cannabis media, you need to support independent cannabis media. Open up that wallet. Let's do some work together. But we sell out of 5,000. Yeah, absolutely. Because we support the industry for sure. We've been doing that. And we support our community and culture side of the industry. That's where we come from and who we are. So we need as much help as we can give to, the overall industry. But we sell out of 5,000 copies every single time we go to print. We go to print 5 times a year. We are now located, because we just brought in a new retail partner. I think I posted that today on LinkedIn. Shangri-La. They are in Missouri, Ohio, and Connecticut, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I said that right. But with adding those 3, I believe we are now in all 50 states, 49 or 50 states, that we have some sort of distribution, where it's either through a retailer, a retail partner, or subscribers.
Okay.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's pretty dope. And, we do a digital magazine every single week. I say every single week. So out of 52 weeks in the year, we produce one 40 to 45 times a year. So we launch a digital magazine pretty much every Friday. We call it Fat Nugs Friday. No, for Fat Nugs Friday. And it has anywhere from about 45 to 65 pages, all original stuff, original writing, original art, all of our photography, just as normal that you would find in our print editions. But we do it in digital, and we send that out to over 10,000 direct subscribers every single Friday. And we push that out through our social media, where collectively our team is somewhere, north of 70 to 75,000 people through social media. So, and it also lives on our website for everybody to look at for free anytime that you want as well. So we're not just doing print. And even though we turn our print into digital assets as well, and those live on our website, we are also doing a very different and specific digital magazine as well. And so we sort of have two magazines going here with the same name.
I'm looking at right now, Weekly Zine, Volume 94. And
yep.
The fact you put something out like this every single week is fucking mind-blowing, man. Like the production quality is just...
Dude,
high.
The work that we do here is second to none in this fucking space, dude. We are buried all week, every week, doing this work, and I think we can prove that every single Friday.
Like, you could put that as like a standalone, like, print edition magazine,
Yep, 100%. It's supposed to be the same exact quality as our print, dude. That's, I'm not going to put out a digital magazine that fucking sucks, right? So, the quality of our digital magazine has got to live up to our print as well. And our designers, Christina on the print and Aaron on the digital, they are two of the baddest women in this space when it comes to designing publications, dude. They are a fierce team. So we make sure that everything that we put out is as high quality as possible.
I would say so. Like, damn, dude. Wow.
Yep. No bullshit on the work, man. It's a ton of work.
Yeah. Your staff really works their ass off. Like,
yes,
you can tell they care.
Yep. Absolutely, dude. I'm lucky to have the people that we have here for sure, because doing what we do, one, is not easy, but doing it for, basically next to no money for the past 4 years makes everything a million times harder.
Ilya, how about have you done like a land race issue by any chance?
That's coming up next. We're actually working on it right now.
That's so cool.
That's funny that you say that. So I sent a team, Daryl and a couple other folks down to Panama to go hunt for Panama Red. So we did that in January of this year. I sent a team down there to do that. And that was to kind of kick off this whole land race edition that we're going to launch in late April, early May. I'm hoping to get it out by late April, right around the 420 mark, but I don't,
It's my birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's dope. God damn.
That's me.
That's kind of a dope ass birthday, dude. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on being born on a good day. Anyway, right. So I would love to get it pushed out, right around 420, but yeah, so we're producing a land race edition. I don't have control over the editorial anymore when it comes to our editions. That is completely, pretty much, not totally, but probably 95% controlled by Jessica, our editor-in-chief, who, by the way, I believe is the best editor-in-chief in this space. I'm obviously biased there, but this land race edition should be something extremely unique. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. You always hear of land races, and you can read some articles and stuff, but to see a full edition come out, hopefully within the next 6 weeks, talking about diving into land race, history, science, and everything else that we could find. should be a pretty fucking dope thing to read, dude. I'm really excited to launch this thing.
Me too, man.
Cool, man.
So you don't have to tell us too much, but I did hear you sent some people to Panama to find Panama Red.
Yep. And the stories that came from that, I'll give you all a little bit of a preview. So what we believe here in the U.S. to be quote unquote land race is not really necessarily so. I'll just put it there. Let's just say that. And we learned that firsthand from the people of Panama. And I'll just let the story sit there for now, because what Rob Sanchez is going to write about that should be something that a lot of people in the industry go, oh shit, I didn't realize. So yeah.
I'm excited. Can I ask like one question? You can not tell me, but is Kev
sure.
involved by any chance?
Say that one more time.
Is Kev involved by any chance?
You know what? If he's not, he should have been. Let's just say that. I'm not sure of all of the writers that joined us. I think we have 10 different writers that joined, maybe 11 different writers that joined us for this one. So we have a pretty big cast of characters for this particular edition. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's in here.
I can't believe it.
10 writers.
Only imagine like the logistics that go behind the planning of all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's massive, and it's why I've been losing my hair for the past 5 years in handfuls.
It's for a good cause.
It is.
We appreciate it.
Look, you find something you love and let it kill you, right, Bukowski?
There we go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man. So so I know you're in Georgia. How's the scene over there as far as cannabis goes?
It's whack, dude. I mean, look, it's when it comes to the legal side of things, it's whack as fuck. It's controlled by a very
legal, right?
It's medically legal. Yes. I call it a fake medical market. So we
because
have somewhere
don't have anywhere where you can get it, right?
We do, but
okay.
Here it is. So we have somewhere around 8 million people in the state, I believe. We have, the last time I checked, I think we had somewhere around 50,000 people signed up as medical card holders. So what that means is we have that's 0.001% of the population or some shit like that. And we all know that, and if I'm not mistaken, the percentage of the population that tends to consume cannabis and actually report that they do is somewhere between 22 and 33% or something like that. So you can see why, first and foremost, it's a fake medical market. And then it's also a fake medical market because very little hands control everything. And you are only qualified for certain things and to get your medical card. And there's no combustion in the state, which means there's no flower in the state. There's no oil in the state. And that's
the catch.
That is just so stupid. Yeah. So suppositories, right? That's great. Nothing against suppositories.
Nothing against it. I get it.
Yeah.
My mom has Crohn's. So.
Your edibles, right? You have your edibles, your tinctures, your topicals, that type of stuff. And that is better than nothing. That's great.
Suppositories.
But here's the problem. It's so tiresome to get the crumbs in life, right? Here, you peasants, here's what you can have. And that's basically sort of what this is. There's no reason.
You want it, you gotta stick it up your ass.
Exactly, dude.
Take your cannabis and shove it up your ass.
There's just no reason to not have combustion in the state. You got a bunch of people walking around with cigarettes, you dumb fucks. I mean, come on, man. Give me a break. It just
big old wads of chew.
Exactly. So it's all, again, it's all about control and money. That's what it always is. It's that simple. But yeah, as far as the rest of it, look, there's always been our traditional market here, always. And Atlanta is huge for that. And Georgia in general is huge for that. So, and whether it's
good weed down there.
Yeah, there are great growers here, dude. I know a number of home growers in this state. You know, there's there are great home growers everywhere in every fucking state, all across this country.
When
So,
did you kind of see like the uptick of home growing
oh,
in Georgia?
definitely over the past few years. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always been a good homegrown market, so to speak. But as legalization continues to kind of roll its way through the states, obviously you see that uptick. And then you do see a lot more conversations about it now as well, whether it be online. There's a ton of books. There's resources all over the place for everyone. So, especially over the past, I'd say 3, 4, 5 years, the homegrown situation is definitely taken an uptick.
I saw that picture like a while back on LinkedIn that you had, and there was a sign. Well, you had a big deal like Hunter S. Thompson, and right beside that was like, it's not legal till homegrown is, or something like that.
Yeah, it's not legal without home grow. Yeah, I've been saying that since I got into the industry. It's nothing special. It's
That and people getting out of prison.
Oh yeah,
that shit blows my mind.
Until you can't be arrested. Like you can't be arrested for a fucking cigarette, right? So it's legal. That's legalization. That's pure legalization. So what we're really talking about here is descheduling and decriminalization. That's what we're talking about. So until decriminalization actually happens, it's truly not legal. But when we're talking about it in the sort of the realm of where we sit at this moment in our country, without home grow, it's just not legal. Because if I can't grow my own medicine, that means it's a commodity that I have to purchase from some company that is making it from somewhere. And that's not what real legalization
is. Which has a shareholder's best interest at
Correct.
Right. Why are they allowed to? And
Correct.
that's what scares me about this Schedule 3 and administration. It's,
might be a trap.
Just a
it's
a push for
pharmaceutical.
And just pushing home grow out of there. What Schedule 3 do you know that you're allowed to manufacture at home? You know what I mean?
Can't. Yeah, I'm hoping that
just,
if and when this does happen, and I don't really think this administration is going to do much more than anyone else has ever done, other than run its fucking mouth. I don't foresee Schedule 3 being an overall positive. I hope to God I'm wrong, but I am relatively nervous about that because really, again, it just needs to be decriminalized, and we need to have free and fair access. That's the conversation that needs to be, driven. Free and fair access to plant medicines that just grow in our backyards, right? That it's just common sense. It never creeps into the conversation.
If all of us could grow at home and share with others, we'd be all set.
And that was what's crazy in like Illinois. You can gift somebody medical cannabis from like a dispensary or something like that, but like home growers aren't allowed to gift theirs to anybody or anything like that. It's pretty
stupid
wild.
As shit. You can't even control stuff like that, dude.
I know, right? It's just they actually arrested I don't know what content creator it was, but they went and arrested him because he had like a couple plants over the legal limit. Not like he had like 30, 40 plants, and
just a couple.
Yeah, it was
probably a couple cuttings. They're probably talking about he's probably popping seeds, and they're like, "Yeah, you got 10 too many."
Yeah,
I'd like to see some sort of like uniformity and it, like you cross a state line just because you have a couple grams over what's deemed acceptable. Like you shouldn't have your life thrown away for that.
Yep, agree. I should be able to get my medicine anywhere I go in this country. It shouldn't be from one state to the next. Am I going to jail? Is my medical card going to work? Blah blah blah. It's utter bullshit. We've lost the patient. We've completely lost the focus of what cannabis really is, and it's because of politicians, dude. It really is.
100%. The lobbyists have fed rooms of people with power the wrong information, and they go from there.
Yep.
Now, do you think that's just a baby boomer thing? Or, oops, sorry.
Say that again.
That's a baby boomer thing, or some people like in their 60s, or
I hate I hate the way that I feel about boomers now in my life, you know, because my parents are boomers. I love my parents. They're 76 years old. But they have truly, truly fucked the country.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
You know,
agree on. I'm gonna have to agree on that one.
they're the most brainwashed group generation that we've ever had, and it's sad. I don't, you know, so it's not like you can just fully blame them for everything that's going on in the world. But if you look at it, who's been controlling the country for the past, I don't know, 50 years, pretty much. It's maybe not 50, 30. It's been the boomer generation. So the things that we face daily are really, you know, sort of sit in their lap, man. And I hate to do that. You know, I don't want to be an ageist or blame a group of people for everything that's, you know, wrong in the world. That's not, you know, necessarily what I'm saying. But we definitely have an issue with the boomer generation still controlling things, still having their stigmas, you know, fed to them through Fox News, and
And I
it's just
think it comes back to accountability. I feel like, you know, if people were like held accountable for their actions and what they did and how they affected other people's besides just their pockets, you know, it'd be a completely different story.
well,
And it's
that's what it's
unfortunate.
supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be when it comes to our politicians and lawmakers, because that's essentially, you know, look, all of the shit rolls downhill, guys, right? It always has. So, you know, you have to look at the people in power that make all of these laws and regulations and see what the trickle down effect has become. And what it's become, especially for cannabis, is a continued bastardization of the plant, so to speak, a continued stigma that we continue to have to fight in all these stupid little ways. And a perfect example of that is what you just said was, you know, having some uniformity. We can't do that because we just have the wrong people in charge. So yeah, man, I guess to answer your question, is this sort of a boomer thing? Sort of, yeah. Unfortunately, to say that, it sucks, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
With
love
this,
my parents, you know, but I hate the values that they they hold, you know, like it's
Yeah.
kind of like, especially coming from the South, you know, it's heavy
How
in a
about
lot
these
of
people?
kind of.
I'll just laugh.
What are your thoughts on this visual?
Yeah,
Being in the adjoining state, right?
yeah,
You're right next door.
yeah. Florida's a sad state of affairs, man. It really is.
Florida's wild.
Let's just say that. And there's not a whole lot to say. You know, the one thing that we do here at Fat Nugs, and I think this is important for everybody to understand, you know, to properly uplift the plant and to move this, our community, our culture, and our industry forward, we have to do this in a way that is, in my opinion, supportive, helpful, hopeful, positive, you know, brings good things to light. So most of, you know, 99.9% of the stuff that we focus on, the stuff that we publish, our photography, our art, the things that those are portraying are very, very positive. That's what we do here. So when it comes to the big five, the True Leaf, the you know, Curaleaf, Cresco, GTI, Verano, those types of companies, we don't even mention them here. We don't work with them in any way.
Right.
They don't advertise with us. We don't talk about their products. We don't even talk about them in a negative light. I don't have to mention them in a negative way to get my point across. We focus on the shit that we love and we're passionate about here. We don't worry about, you know, people that maybe shouldn't probably not be in this industry, and have more or less bought their way into the industry. There are certain phrases that you can say without having to name a company that we all know exactly who you're talking about. We all know the group, the group of 5 or 6, you know, we all know. So, you know, my feedback when I see photos like that or an article or a cover of a magazine with those types of folks on it, which you will never see here, I
Orbs.
sort of ignore it and I sort of scoff at it and I sort of smoke my joint, mind my own business, and continue with my life, because cannabis is so much deeper and more important than those 5 or 6 companies, dude. You know, I don't even worry about those folks. I really don't. You know, one thing I think they should do, though, they should be carrying the magazine in every single one of their locations, for the simple fact that their consumers, their customers, their patients deserve to have high quality scientific and education
It would
when
lead
it
people
comes to
away from
cannabis.
them though, because once people learn what real, true quality cannabis is, they start leaving those places alone.
Nah, you know, yes and no. So I think what providing, you know, high level education backed by science when it comes to cannabis, what that really does is, yeah, it opens up our minds, opens up our eyes, but it doesn't necessarily drive people away from their wallets, right? It doesn't mean that people are going to change their shopping, you know, based on that science and education specifically. You know, a lot of what we do here in the U.S. Is first and foremost driven by our wallets. It's that simple. So I think having the magazine in every single dispensary in this country, you know, I believe is, you know, kind of important. I think we're doing a service to the industry. I think we're bringing education and science to cannabis and psychedelics in a way that no one else does. So carrying the magazine in those locations from those companies that we don't mention here, or don't work with here, you know, I still think that they should be doing that at very least. So, you know, there is a path for them to be able to better serve the consumer and patient. And that is by actually offering this thing to their consumers and patients.
Love it.
I love it. I love it. There is a lot of misinformation in the industry, and like, you know, having fat nugs around just kind of make a better informed patients. You know, I mean, there's always gonna be a place for like you know, giant companies, because they can serve at a lower price point and everybody can afford it cheap. You know,
absolutely. There's a place for the Walmarts of the world, the Kmarts of the world, right? There's a place for the Sams and the Costcos of the world. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just we don't want them driving industry, law, and policy. That's not what we want. We want the small players, the people who, you know, grew this plant 30 years ago. Those are the people that we want driving the conversations. So there's nothing wrong with them being in the space. That doesn't mean that I'm going to work with them.
This is true. This is like when you see like the Piers Morgan clips where it's like, he's like the Jerry Springer of like political media, right?
Yeah, and you're right. Media is always looking for clicks. It's unfortunate, but you know, if you do media right and you're paying attention to the right things and you're producing good work, quality work, it's going to get the clicks. It's going to get people to pay attention. And not only that, it gets the people who you want to actually be paying attention. You're going to get the people that you're actually talking to, right? So I don't believe in the clickbait bullshit. Like, there's nothing on our website or any of our articles or any of our editions. There's nothing that we produce that says, hey, look at us, look at this. This is really crazy. Click on this. Like that. We just don't fucking do that. There's no reason to do that kind of stuff. There's really not.
It's like, for me, you know, I don't care about doing topics that like might be popular. I'd rather just do something I'm interested in, because I know there are enough other people who would be interested in the same shit.
Yep.
Or what time of day is the best time to go live? It's like, they're all good times.
Let's just go.
Right? Like there are people who are around at each time of day, because it's also worldwide too, right? So it's like,
Yep.
This is a good time for somebody somewhere.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And later will be a good time for someone else somewhere.
Yep. And that's how media should be run, right? Or at least stuff like this anyway, in articles and things. You just produce good work. You don't have to worry about clickbait.
Big ups to Peter for creating a safe place for everybody to come, and he invites anybody on that has a passion for it, and it doesn't even have to be cannabis. Sometimes there's been people come on and talk
It is
about what
also fun to talk about other stuff.
The
Yeah.
pepper.
Yeah.
While
You get the pepper
high.
lady back.
Like cats. Like cats, dude.
Yes.
yeah, man.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you
Chicken
guys having me
breeding.
on for sure.
We'll
Appreciate
come
you
back
coming.
anytime, James.
Oh, yeah.
Good job setting that up.
Hell yeah.
Oh no,
Good stuff.
Eric from Butthead's Organic Soil. He recommended you, man.
Hell yeah. Eric's a
hell
good
yeah.
dude. Eric's a good dude. And he's got great soil, dude. I use it out back here. So yeah,
Oh, he's sending me a bag, so
you'll like
You
it.
just did a show with them recently, right, James?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he hit me up on LinkedIn. I was like, shit, dude, you want to come on? And I'm a Midwestern type guy. Like I grew up in Kansas and Kansas and Oklahoma, and he's over in Missouri. And I was like, Chaffee, that's kind of close,
So
And,
where is he in Missouri?
Chaffee, Cape Girardeau.
Oh, Cape Girardeau.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of my family used to live. So Poplar Bluff, Missouri. I'm from St. Louis originally. So yeah, know the area.
Oh man, but we were talking about stigma, like even the Midwest. I mean, well, obviously like Midwest, like places like Kansas, but like Oklahoma, there's a stigma, and like Missouri, South
Oh, yeah.
Missouri, there's a stigma. Places
Oh, yeah.
where it's legal, there's still a stigma, and it's just
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Yeah, we're going to continue to have to fight that shit. It's not going to go away anytime soon. Even if you decriminalize, it's not going to go away anytime soon. Someone just said, how do we support Fat Nugs? Dude, I definitely appreciate the question. So fatnugsmag.com. You can subscribe to the actual print. You can, when you click on anything to read, like any of our weekly zines or our print magazines that are digital, you'll have to put in your email, and then everything is free at that point. We actually give away our media, you guys. So when you buy this, you subscribe to it, obviously that costs, or when you buy it individually, obviously that costs. But everything that we do on the digital side, we want everybody to have access to it, dude. We think it's super important to have access to high quality education, scientifically backed education for cannabis and psychedelics. So we make everything absolutely free if you want it. You can find us on Instagram, fat_nugs_mag. We're on LinkedIn as well. I'm on LinkedIn personally as well. Dustin Hoxworth, our Fat
Do you have
Nugs.
a backup, or is that a
No, we don't.
fake account?
No, that's our main account on Instagram. So
Because
we
I
got.
just looked at one up, and there's no underscores or anything.
Yeah, that's
don't have,
actually,
like,
you know
any
what? We do
posts.
have that backup account. That is a backup
Okay,
account.
cool. Just make
yeah.
sure I'm not following a phone.
Yeah, the main account is that fat_nugs_mag, and I think we have around 8,000 followers or something. So that'll be the right one that you'll want to follow. Yeah, I mean, dude, we're available all the time. We kind of make ourselves available to the community as much as we can. So reaching out to us on LinkedIn, reaching out to us on Instagram, most of the time we do our best to try and get back to you. And please go to the website, check out the articles that we do. We're actually going through a website refresh right now. So I think in about 2 weeks, we'll be launching the fresh website, whole new look. We're going to focus a lot more on our editorial and our articles. Obviously, the magazine is a big thing of what we do, but it's going to blend a little bit more and not just be, magazine focused everywhere, because a lot of what we do is really article driven. We produce, launch, publish, whatever you want to call it, at least 5, 6, 7 articles every single week, and they're all original. We don't do any AI bullshit here. We have actual writers writing with us. So please come and support us. We need all the fucking help we can get, guys.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and by the way, one more thing, a full year subscription, all 5 editions, it's $96. It's not going to wipe you out.
I looked online. I think it's like $9 a month, right?
It's either $9 a month or $96 for a year, depending. Yeah. So if you want to buy it outright for $96, you save a little bit of cash. But otherwise, it's $9 a month. You support us, and we'll send out that supports all of our work, right? Doing our digital magazine, all the stuff we do for free and give everybody for free here access to, that helps us do that through that $9. And then every 2.5 months or so, we'll send you a nice, fresh new magazine like the Concentrates edition. So, that's how you can support us, guys.
I will.
Hell yeah. I appreciate it, guys.
No
hey, man, thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate it, dude.
Anytime, brother. You're more than welcome. Come on anytime.
Hell yeah. Now I got to get back to work.
Oh, yeah. I can sit here and chat all day, man.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys, man.
Thank you much, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on.
You
Good
got
to
it.
meet you.
Yep.
And we'll,
Same.
you should come back on soon.
Love to, man.
Yeah.
Love to shoot the shit with you guys.
We're gonna get Logan and Daryl on one of these days. So
I would love to be on one with those dudes. That would be fun.
hell yeah, dude. That'd be
That would
great.
be dope. I would love that.
Love it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care. I appreciate you.
All
Peace,
right,
brother.
peace out, man.
All right. Then there were 3.
Holy shit, my voice didn't completely give out. Yesterday, I couldn't even fucking talk. I was like freaking out this morning. So I was like down in Dayquil and doing cough drops.
Should have boofed it.
I should have moved the probably work better. Man.
Yeah, man. That was great.
That's a cool guy.
Yeah. Good shit on lining that up, brother. That was good stuff.
I just seen him on LinkedIn, and like Eric mentioned him, which that's a cool cat too. And did you say like, oh yeah, I'm working with Daryl? I was like, all right, we gotta do this.
Yeah. Daryl's a cool cat. I haven't. I just found out about him not too long ago through Logan, and I'm stoked because I've always wanted to get into photography. It's an art form that I absolutely love and respect. So he's going to show me around, give me the ins and outs of some photography.
The shots that Fat Nugs has, like, holy shit, dude!
It's so cool.
All of them are just like top notch.
Yeah, and being able to share how you can see something, create something. It's definitely an art because it's an object that everybody else will see, but not the same way that you're going to depict it. Like, which is really
not to mention like the techniques like photo stacking and shit. Like, I have no fucking clue how to do
that. Shit's gnarly, dude. I think we had an episode on with who was it, Peter? We talked about the stacking. The macros.
It was what is it? Candid. What is it? Kirk? No. I'm totally blanking on their names.
Yeah, so am I. Well, that was cool. It was I didn't know it was so tedious. But I'm pretty sure they have programs and stuff now.
Someone in the chat. Green Table. What's
Green Table? We gotta do a Myconauts soon. It's been a while.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get Tanazi on.
Tanazi! Hell yeah. Tanazi's a cool cat, man. I like that guy.
He's good peoples, man. He was the crafter of the Deemsters.
You need that and then Kevin to do all the talking. Everybody on mushrooms and then Kevin to do all the talking.
We need Kevin to eat some mushrooms that somebody grew. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Well, I'm gonna grab some
I gotta go get some laundry done.
So I think on Friday, hold on. What did Jeff say? We have another.
What was the last one?
Smuggler.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so Kelly, who jumped on this past week,
get Dale on too.
Start telling stories.
Oh, and next week I'll probably have Brandon Rust on for the Battle of the Breeders, and I guess he's opening up a dispensary.
Did that already happen, or it's happening in the future?
That I do not know, But I was interested in Battle of the Breeders because like Oklahoma is kind of like my place. So I was like, all right. But he has opened up a dispensary. I don't know if it's opened up yet, but he said it was going to be this month. So it's been a while
Do you
since
know
he's been.
what town?
Sounds about right.
I think Oklahoma City. The OKC. Which Oklahoma, that place is starting. All right, so there's Governor Stitt is like he's wanting to revoke medical or at least put up for a vote again, like revoke it. And it's just a shit show, dude. Like Oklahoma's just cracking down so hard.
Well,
Then
we
they went.
knew, I don't know, as an outsider, I saw it happening so far before it even happened. Like, I saw everybody flooding there, and like, same with like Thailand. And I'm like, yeah, get it while you can, and that's kind of exactly what happened. It was too good to be true.
I saw coming as soon as they fucking went the pre-package instead of deli style, and I was like, "Yep, we're fucked. We're fucked."
Yeah, that's a killer.
Peter, was like when I was living in California? California was a pre-package. Has it always been that way there?
No, it
It used to be
was
deli style.
yeah, it was more deli style.
Was that like
We
the
have that in
back in the
2015
Arizona.
day.
days?
What's that?
At certain locate in Arizona,
Yeah,
we have, yeah.
like the shops here in LA, yeah, you could like they had jars of stuff and you could bring bags in and sell them to them.
Kind
Yeah.
of like the backpack days in Colorado. And I think Colorado is a still deli style, but the backpack days.
That's I don't know. You better have good humidity control in your building if you're
Oh
doing
yeah,
deli in
dude.
Colorado.
Hey man, they don't call it Colorado crumble for
Crumble for
no
nothing,
reason, man.
right?
I
Yeah.
can't because I was out in Denver for a few years. I remember so
Great
many
for
times.
mushrooms though, like drying them.
Oh fuck yeah!
Tanazi just leaves his out, dude, and they dry. It blows my fucking mind.
It's like he doesn't need like a dehydrator or anything.
No, it's great.
That's fucking badass. Then again, it's like fucking 20% like humidity all the time in
Crazy.
winters. Like if you don't have chapstick or
Soul.
lotion, like you're fucked in Colorado. Like you are fucked.
Evil.
LA is pretty dry,
Oh,
Oh
so
wait, you live in Arizona. It's pretty dry out there too.
Oh yeah, dude, it sucks. It's gonna be 105 Saturday.
Woo! Fuck everything about that.
And it just snowed in Alabama. What the fuck is going on?
Crazy ass weather.
I can't believe it snowed in Alabama. It never does, let alone in this time of the year.
Makes me think like all those alligators and shit. Do they freeze?
It's cool so they can, to a certain degree, if it like ices over,
they have
they
their snout
stick their
above
snout out. Yeah, and they just
and it
wait until
freezes
it thaws
around
out.
it. Huh.
Yeah, pretty wild. You can freeze a bee, and it'll come back to life when you bring it out of the freezer. And so we used to tie dental floss or a string around them when they're frozen. You catch one, throw it in the freezer, let it freeze, and then you have a bee on a string once it wakes up. It's
That's
fun as a
fucking
kid.
crazy. I want to try that.
I can only imagine being the bee.
The last part of my life, I was frozen and then I had a rope tied around me.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it anymore. It's like
It's like some Han Solo
But-
shit.
maybe it was fun for him. I don't know.
All right, well, it's about
All right,
4
I gotta get out
o'clock
of here.
here, so I gotta get off here.
All right, well, have a good one.
Peace, fellers.
All right,
Talk
peace
to you
out,
guys
bro.
soon.
Bye.